Hey guys,
Hey
this is
guys,
Keith.
and Ben, and
Courtney.
yeah, she said her name. Good,
Oh,
Woo!
Courtney's here. Good, good.
and
Well,
it's
It's
yeah,
it's the
better if
whole
I'm here.
gang. It's okay, yes. And let's see, Courtney and Ben, y'all just saw Suicide Squad, if I'm
yep,
Yes.
correct,
yep,
right?
yep.
Okay, good, good. Well, I saw it yesterday, so we're all on the same page here. Anyway, I don't think we've ever done a movie review before,
No, we haven't. We just
but
complain about movies in general.
yeah, I mean, we'll talk about them, but we've never like really reviewed anything, and this won't be like an in-depth review. It's really just more our thoughts. But
Yeah,
the Batman universe is too good to not talk about. So,
exactly.
but without Batman versus Superman, that didn't count. That movie didn't actually happen. I think that was just a dream we all had collectively.
It was a wet
So
dream.
anyway, yeah. Woo. Anyway, the real first DC comic movie of our era, Suicide Squad, came out, and well, Ben,
It
I
didn't get
haven't.
such stellar reviews, and I'm actually going to be upfront and say I disagree with the reviews.
Yeah, I really liked it.
I I did not read the actual description of the reviews. I just saw the Metacritic number and then the Rotten Tomatoes number. But I told you earlier in the week not to tell me because you were going to see it before me. Just we had this earlier discussion. Say, hey, just text me a number 1 through 10 of what it is, and we won't say anything else about the movie. And you did that, and so that helped a whole lot. It gave me some because
Okay,
you said it was better than what we saw online the day of release. And so it gave me
yes.
some hope. So I went into it trying to figure out what everyone else saw was wrong with it, but I did enjoy it for what it was. I do have a background in reading Suicide Squad stuff and watching. Was it Attack or Assault? I can't remember.
I think it
Slash
was
Assault on
Assault on
Arkham.
Arkham, or was
Yeah,
yeah, it was one of the two. Yeah.
yeah, it was one of the two, and that was pretty good. I mean, it was basic. It introduced me to the whole idea of it first, and the whole Suicide Squad storyline is fairly new to comic books. It's within the last 10 years, the last since it's been collected by DC. So I mean, it's still fairly new, but I do have major complaints about it as always because I hate everything and Courtney actually pointed out a
Okay.
few things too.
I did. I don't know if this is just
Okay.
because I'm being a girl, but Harley Quinn's ass is in like every shot when they're walking away. Every single time, it's like the main focal point. I don't know. It
It's
didn't.
because
I
you're a
mean,
girl, Courtney.
It's because you're a
probably.
girl.
I do agree she has a good ass. I'm not gonna lie, but it's like every single time it is.
Which I mean, it was always a low angle.
It was.
It was a low angle looking up, and I was like, all right, I can appreciate that. Okay, let's get a little old. Okay, we know what's happening now. Yeah, we get it. She's the one with the vagina in the group. Got it.
Yes.
Besides
I
Katana.
honestly
But
think
hers
I
is.
stopped like noticing after a while just because I was like
It's
focused on
every
the
single time.
story. I
Well,
was
they
like I
Well,
knew they
yeah.
wanted me to, but I like refused to look because I was too busy trying to think of other
No.
things. Like, yeah, I was like, no, this is stupid. I don't need to see it anymore. Like, now, granted, in
It's a
all
plot
the video
diversion.
games and like
yeah.
a lot of the comics, she's
I
obviously not in like the kids' TV show version. She's not like that, but
I
in a
have
lot
a
of other
picture. I
ways,
have a
she
picture
is.
of her
And Batman.
from Arkham Knight where Batman's carrying her off, and you can definitely see the outline of
Oh
a
yeah,
nice
Which,
camel toe.
and it's
oh yeah.
funny because my brother, not like a couple weeks later after Ben showed me that, it was the exact same picture of it. He's like, look what I found. I'm like, oh my god.
But
Yeah, it's a good shot. It's a good angle.
which
Yeah.
is funny because origin of Harley Quinn is from the 1990s Batman animated show. She didn't exist until then. She wasn't in comic books. They just threw her in there as like a little female part to play as a counter role to Joker, but it kind of evolved from there. So it's kind of funny. She's really new in
Yeah, well,
realms
females
of
didn't
comic.
exist before the 1960s,
Exactly.
or until after the 1960s, I suppose.
It was just
So,
food appeared and
and to,
babies appeared, and
yeah,
it's just how it happened.
That's not how it
something like
happens
that.
nowadays.
I think God
Courtney,
invented
go back
color
to the
around the
kitchen.
same time as well. But anyway, yeah. So for me, I guess I won't give it a number right off the bat. We can save those for
No,
the end.
we're gonna tease
Well,
it a little bit.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
will do it on a 1 to 10 scale. But I definitely felt sorry for a majority of the critics for having to go through life with a sharp stick up their ass.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they were definitely. I think I can definitely see how if you wanted to hate that movie, and you went in like, oh, fuck this movie, you could find a lot of ways to dislike it.
If you
So I
wanted,
can definitely, yeah, if
yeah,
you wanted to
if
nitpick
you
it to
wanted to, if you
hell,
wanted to walk in and criticize it in comparison to just Schindler's List or something like that, then yeah, you could ruin that movie in a heartbeat.
yeah,
But
of course, and
it,
that's how I
in
think there are so many like bad reviews, is because first of all, who are critics? Are any critics below the age of 50 anymore? Like,
I don't
isn't
know,
that kind
there's
of
the
a?
internet, so
I mean, I guess we're technically being critics right now,
but
but
we don't
we're
get
not. It's not
paid.
like our job. Yeah,
Yeah.
no. People get paid to say their own opinion about crap. I mean, like, I read a few of the reviews, and they definitely, a majority of them sound like old guys. Like they bitch about, and there was loud music, and the damn kids were running around. Like,
In my front
it's like
yard on
it's
their
like, okay, so
skateboards.
if you send the 60-year-old orthodontist who's a part-time critic to see this movie, yeah, he's gonna hate it. Why the hell would he like
But
it? It
okay,
is
Keith,
not the target
Actually, there's a
audience.
lot of older people.
yeah, there were a whole lot of older people, but the deal is, we talked about this earlier in the week before we're just kind of, hypothesizing what might happen in the movie, and then we got into the subject of Marvel movies. We'll go into that later, but like, we're not going to talk about how we hate Marvel movies and stuff like that, but they got really high praise for the Avengers movies, and it was all childish and like,
Yeah.
and you think that you could, there's so many plot holes in those movies and you can tear those to pieces, but they got high praise, they got 80s and whatnot, and they did
I
great.
enjoyed this more than the Avengers by far,
Yeah.
I think.
I fell asleep during the Avengers.
Yeah, it's
I
really.
couldn't do it. It was during the main battle too at the end. Like there had
The
been
one that
so
lasts an
much
hour
build-up.
long?
It's terrible.
I finally crapped out. I finally like after the 50th person had died,
We
I
know they're
passed out.
gonna win. Like, this is just.
Yeah, I was like, oh no, the suspense. Like, I don't know.
But
Yeah, it
anyways,
was dumb.
since
Like,
since we're recording this, I kind of want to throw a little thing out there that I noticed that I haven't seen anyone bring up, but I haven't looked too far into the internet yet because I didn't want to ruin the movie.
right.
When it's the main scene when in the trailers when Joker's laying around and all those knives are around him and stuff.
Yeah.
There are baby
Baby.
clothes
Yes, I noticed
on the
that.
on the outer
Yes,
rim. And
I noticed that as well.
And if you remember in the Arkham games, there's always hints that Harley Quinn's pregnant, like pea sticks and whatnot.
Really?
Yeah, and so I thought that was a nice little touch they threw in there for the Arkham game players.
I thought that was cool too.
I mean, they're
I liked
they're
that.
not going to be straight up about it, but it was nice. There's all those guns and there's the TV monitors and there's baby clothes on the outside. And I was like, that's really cool. So
That's
that's my one little conspiracy theory of the movie. That's really blatant to everyone, but
Cool. The biggest thing, I think, first of all, I think the biggest thing a lot of people are talking about is like the new Joker, you know, and I feel like it's really too soon to accurately sum up like his performance in
Yeah.
like 8 minutes of footage.
Yeah.
It's like from what I saw, I liked it. It was a very different kind of Joker. It's not really a kind of Joker that's been done before, like the gangster punk
Yeah.
sort of Joker has not.
which is the
been
way
done
Suicide
in a
Squad
movie
was supposed to
before.
be. So
Yeah, no, exactly.
the old
So I
animated
think he was
series from
accurate.
the 90s, he was very comical, but he still had that punk feel to him, and that's what I think Jared Leto was going towards. It's just I think it was hard for him to talk with the grill in his
grill.
mouth, and so he had to use more body language than he could use his words. And I think that was a really big hindrance on him because they were like, oh shit, we put out this big mugshot of him wearing this grill. He can't talk that well with it.
I think it went well.
But he did go well with it because it made him sound like he had to do his S's a whole lot harder, so he sounded more like a snake, really like
It made him sound
devilish.
more crazy. It
Yeah.
just made
Yeah.
his words in general sound more like he was off.
You hung on
kind
to
of thing.
every single word he said. It was,
he was-
I'm not going to compare him to Heath Ledger because Heath Ledger was really, really fast in how he did stuff, and so, but Jared Leto was very, very fluid, and it made you feel like every single word was going to kill you.
Yes,
that he
he's
said.
so creepy.
for
And
sure.
so
So
okay,
I personally enjoyed him. I thought he did a good job, and I think it's a good start for him as the Joker. And I definitely want to see more of him in the solo Batman films to come.
And they gave
Hopefully.
you and they gave you some emotional ties to him with him and Harley because it did some background story with them and
Yeah.
and continuing stuff. I actually gave a shit about him, which was something we talked about. I'm comparing this movie to Guardians of the Galaxy. This is DC's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
Completely
basically.
different style, but this is what there is. And we had this concern of this movie's going to flop because they're going to spend so much time trying to build backstory on these characters. But then you and I were discussing, it's like, well, how much backstory did they give to Groot or Rocket in Guardians of the Galaxy? And
Virtually none.
and we were like, okay, they're in prison. They did some shitty things. Now they're with this one girl who got in trouble with this other guy, and now they have to do some good things that are kind of on the line. And that was their backstory.
Well, the one guy that come out, everyone's already there, and then all of a sudden they have this guy that can
Slipknot.
climb. Yeah,
Slipknot.
they didn't even talk about him, and I know it's just so they could blow him
Well,
up.
well,
They could prove
okay.
that point, but still, like at least put him in like the lineup.
It was, yeah,
Well,
and Katana like just showed up.
Yeah.
But
That part was a little random.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the whole deal with Slipknot, that thing. Well, remember in the animated movie that we watched, they had the KG Beast, the Russian dude,
Yeah, who's like, you guys are full of it.
and just they
He's
instantly
dead in the
blow his
first
head
2
up.
minutes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that was
Mhm.
I was just like, okay, that's the KG Beast of this movie, and I mean they picked their heroes or anti-heroes well, because they could have done Killer Frost, but that would have been constant CGI and stuff like that. And we discussed this earlier that they use mostly just real explosions. They try to stay away from the green screen stuff. They use real sets, which was nice because the whole Batman vs Superman overdid it, and that's what they got criticized for. But the old Dark Knight movies use real explosions, and everything, and that's what made it feel so just real, I guess, gritty,
Yeah.
and more concrete. The only thing I have to complain about the CGI and stuff, don't get me wrong, Enchantress, when she was in her like normal singular form, was creepy as hell.
Yes.
She like, that was good. It didn't look cheesy at all. But when she was in her like full form, when she had all that crap coming off of her, that looked like complete shit.
Yeah, she was
And
moving really.
she was
weird,
moving
too.
really
Like,
weird.
Every time she said a word, she'd like
She would
lurch in
move
a
her
certain
hips.
direction.
She'd move her hips,
Yeah.
and it didn't match. And I didn't know if that was supposed to make you feel like she was unhuman-like, and make her feel distant from people, or that was just really bad choreography and CGI. I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they kept the CGI centralized around certain scenes where you'd expect it, instead of just trying to bombard you like Batman vs Superman did. But Courtney hasn't seen it. Spoiler alert.
No.
But
I knew he died though.
yeah, they start off the movie by saying Superman dies. Hint. Yeah. But
Wink, wink.
yeah, that's a little nudge on the side there. But what do you think, Keith, about the... Is there anything like visualized that you didn't like? There's another visual thing I didn't like was they like to suck their own dick about the action. The fight scenes were not great. They would slow things down to like, oh, cool. Did you see that? It was cool because it was in slow motion to show what they did. And then they'd show people's bodies flying, and you're like, they're attached to strings. And so that kind of, it pulled me out of the movie for a little bit. But what do you think?
I didn't notice too much on the fights. I guess I just kind of got immersed at that point. So I tend not to get too nitpicky once I start getting into the movie. So it's hard for me to notice some stuff. If I had any major criticisms about the film, we can just get the criticism out of the way real quick so we can
Yeah.
end on like all the things we really
Yeah,
love
exactly.
about it, because I've got several in my pocket. But one of the bigger things that I noticed that I thought was kind of odd, and maybe it was in the deleted scenes that they initially had planned on putting this in, but for some reason they got rid of it at the last minute, and I don't know why. But Joker seemed a little too infatuated with Harley Quinn to me.
From the
Because
very
in every
beginning.
other form of media, he is abusive to her, and he uses her more than
Oh,
anything.
yeah.
He does not love her, and in this movie, it
Like this-
definitely
like the-
seems like he loved her.
Like the strip
Like,
club
for
scene.
Sure. Yeah, he was totally all for her this
'Cause
whole movie.
The guy, that gangster comes in and he says, "That's your bitch over there," and you know that he doesn't like her being called that, and so like he goes all out about that. And I'm like, the old Joker would not care about that.
No, no. He'd be like, yeah, she sure is, and like high five him.
El Diablo.
Really.
You could tell what he was going to be at the end.
You can,
Him being so standoffish at
yeah,
first.
you knew from the very beginning that him being standoffish, they were gonna need him, and then he was gonna like, oh, I'm gonna own the group. I'm gonna tell them
Yeah.
that I can own up to my past and whatever. But like the whole bar scene, like when Harley Quinn was like, "You killed
Own
the
it,
kids, didn't
bitch."
you?" And she's like, "You own it." I'm like, dude, no, that makes me feel really uncomfortable. But I think that's
Yeah.
what they were trying to go for there, because Harley Quinn doesn't have any. She's a
Social
sociopath.
skills.
Yeah, she's a sociopath. But at the end of the movie, during the big fight, he's just like, all of a sudden, he's like, "You guys are my family." I'm like, you guys had like 2 sentences of conversation at the bar. And,
Yeah, I did think the bonding
Drinks
was
make
a
you
little...
do crazy
yeah, no,
shit.
that's what I was about to say. It's like when I go to a party at college, it's just like, yeah, man, you're my brother. Like, dude, we just beer bonged together, and now we're gonna die together. Jump off the roof with me, bro. But that's how I felt. I was just like,
It
the
did
guy
feel like
had
that.
one drink with them, and they got him to admit that he killed his family. Spoiler alert, you're gonna know that anyway. But
We've spoiled a lot, I think. So far.
Yeah.
I
I,
work
guess
at-
I don't know. We haven't really talked about the plot at all.
no,
though. We've
which
just
I'm
been
not going
nitpicking
to,
random
because there was
things that
nothing
we're
wrong
going
with the
around it.
plot. There was nothing wrong with the plot.
Yeah.
The villain, I'm done with talking about El Diablo because you can get the point from there. But like the plot,
Enchantress was
the villain
hot.
the villain
Good
was
lord.
perfect, because you can't give him like a normal like
Just
ops,
a guy.
yeah, just normal ops job, where like you need to break into Soviet Russia and do this. No, you need it to be like alien, something really messed up and weird, or and that
Yeah.
not really tangible. We don't really know what we're dealing with. Like the audience doesn't know how to kill it or whatever. That was perfect.
Yeah, like, I definitely had no clue what they were gonna do about it. Like,
No, and I can't honestly explain it to you because I want you guys to figure out yourself. It's not gonna be human, and it's gonna be awesome. The CGI on it was meh, but yeah,
it wasn't so bad that I was like distracted by it. I was
Yeah.
still like,
No.
I was thinking about like, oh shit,
Well,
how are they gonna pull through this?
they weren't infatuated with what it was. They're like, what can we do to fix this? Which
Yeah.
was better, because they weren't like, what's the origin of this? Why do we need to find its genome? What size is its penis? And stuff like that. And like,
Big.
Yeah.
like some
Big.
movies, they're
It's
like
big.
they're like
Oh my
so infatuated with the points of what it is, and like they're just like, we need to figure this out quick
Kill
because
it.
we're gonna die.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was cool of them to do that. I think we should start getting onto the positives
Yes.
now.
Okay.
Because we actually
So
liked
for
it.
me to, I did enjoy. Okay, pretty sporadic. I'll just go around anything that pops in my mind. I liked the Joker. I liked the new spin on it. I thought it was good.
Yeah.
I thought it's one of the last ways Joker hasn't been portrayed yet.
Like
I feel like
steampunk.
there's only, yeah, I feel like there's only so many different kind of personalities that they can use for the Joker and still be pretty accurate. And I think this is one of the last big ones, probably.
Yeah.
I might just be uncreative, but that's kind of how I see it.
Yeah.
I thought Harley Quinn was really cool.
I really
I
liked
thought
her.
Margot Robbie did
You
a good
could-
job.
Which was
I
kind of cool.
definitely
I
wanted to see more of her.
I picked
Yeah.
I picked up on this throughout the movie with her. Like her acting would change throughout the movie. Like her accent would change a little bit. And at first I was like, oh, she's a terrible actress. Like, no, this is her because she has split personalities and everything.
Yeah, it
Like she would change her emotions so quick
it went
in a
really
scene,
well.
and I just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
wow, that's just great.
I think she did a great job. Yeah. For
Yeah.
sure.
And you mentioned Waller earlier.
Waller. I thought she did a good job.
She was scary as shit.
Yes.
She was
Hey, she
pretty
plays
scary.
in Blind Spot, doesn't she? Like she's
With the TV show.
Yeah.
No one watches that.
well, okay, I do. I
I've
like
never heard of
it,
it.
but okay. Anyway, never mind.
Sorry.
Not all of us
I
have
thought-
basic cable, Courtney.
Shut that up.
I thought the supporting members of Suicide Squad were good.
Yeah.
Killer Croc. I would.
He was
liked
interesting.
Him to be the, I would have liked him to be the full size one.
Yeah,
in
taller
Batman,
and more
video games.
grotesque.
Yeah, yeah.
Have more
but
lines.
he was a little more realistic quotation marks
Yeah.
at that size, I guess. A little easier to deal with.
Yeah.
I thought Captain Boomerang was pretty cool.
I wish they would have utilized his boomerang skills a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it seemed like any time he did anything with his boomerang, it would like it break,
Get shot
or, like,
down.
he'd get messed up or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Yeah, no, the number of the helicopter crashes in that movie were ridiculous. They would just
Yeah.
It went
stop
from zero
flying.
helicopter crashes to like way too many real quick.
Yeah. Um, I thought the plot was good. I didn't. There were a few scenes here and there that you're kind of like, meh.
The
But
ending
overall, I
the ending
felt
felt a
like
little rushed about the brother and the
yeah,
sister of Enchantress, but I mean, other than that, I mean, they were trying to stay on topic.
Yeah.
yeah. And I thought they could have added a few more scenes if they wanted to. It seems
Mm-hmm.
like they cut out a lot of
Yeah,
scenes for some reason. I
I
guess they
think
wanted to keep it real close to 2 hours.
they really
But
wanted. I think they really wanted to add some extra emotional stuff to it, like with family of like Deadshot and stuff like that, to make it a little
mhm,
bit more like close to home, more
Emotional.
relatable. But I think
mhm,
they didn't want the whole doom and gloom. They wanted to stay upbeat once again
yeah,
with the music. But
uh-huh.
I think that's the reason why.
Yeah. So I liked the plot. I liked the colors. Uh, Overall,
It
I
was
enjoyed the
pretty.
sounds. No, the color scheme. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
Yeah, I
the way
know.
they portrayed stuff. I thought it was
yeah,
pretty cool. I thought it made it seem like, whenever Joker was around, it felt like you were looking at things in a way he does. Like it's like
yeah. You're in a
Mm-hmm.
fun
blips, and he
house.
just like he's looking over here, and then he's looking over here, and there's
They
like
did
bright
do,
lights, and he's like blinking a lot.
yeah,
Like kind
they
of
did
just
Mm-hmm.
made
do
me
cool
feel like
train.
that's how he's seeing it.
I did talk shit about how they did transitions with the music and stuff, but with him, you could tell when he was gonna walk in the room because the music would get like the tone. They would change the tuning
Hmm.
of the music. It would
Mm-hmm.
sound really out of tune when he'd walk in. You're like,
Yeah,
oh, okay, well he's here.
yeah. I thought that was cool. So, yeah, so that, the acting, color scheme, generally music, plot was good. So overall, I guess just I don't know. I'm trying to think of you start saying what you enjoyed, and I'll try to think of it if it comes to me. But overall, those were my big things on my list that I was thinking about. So,
They didn't add extra bullshit stuff at the beginning to make you want to walk out and take a pee break because I did have to go pee super bad throughout the movie. And usually, if I know there's gonna be a lull in the movie, I go walk out and whatever. But there really
hmm,
wasn't too much of a lull in the movie. It was every single like scene was essential to build the plot and go
Mm-hmm.
to the final
hmm,
conclusion of the movie, which was nice for once in a superhero movie
Yeah.
that has multiple characters in it.
there isn't the hour and a half of the Avengers bitching and moaning at each other. God damn, that was so boring. Just, I don't agree with your fighting style, good sir. Well, screw you, 1940s guy. Like, that was half the movie. Like, you're just, shut up. No one cares. Neither of you are relatable. Just,
Yeah,
just stop talking. But anyway, continue. Not to say that I can relate to Killer Croc, but, like,
yeah,
you get it. The characters were imperfect, which made them better. Tony
yeah.
Stark was just an asshole, and the other
No
guy
one
was a
likes
Boy
him.
Scout. I
They
forget his name. Captain America. No one
yeah.
likes Captain America. Anyway,
they
continue. Sorry.
they did they were very very upfront about all of their flaws.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Deadshot had his daughter and he was trying to get over that, but he was still super good at everything. He liked showing off at everything he could do. Captain Boomerang
Hmm.
was individualist. He would do anything to get out of trouble. Harley Quinn, of course, had Joker, and that was her major drawback. She'd do anything for him. Killer Croc, he just didn't give a shit anyway.
Yeah.
He didn't have too much to do with the movie.
Didn't
He
really tell why he was in there to begin with. I mean,
yeah
besides like him not having a place.
yeah. I mean, he was just scary as hell. That's why.
Yeah.
He
And
probably ate people if it's related to the comics at all.
like Diablo had like a internal
Murdered his
conflict,
family.
internal conflict of wanting to completely just go cold turkey, modern day citizen. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it was pretty nice. We haven't talked very much
Yep.
about Katana. I mean, that was cool. I wish they would have gone more in detail about her backstory because that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Her cool thing is with her husband and her sword and stuff. That was pretty neat.
Hmm.
And when she was praying to her sword and stuff before she goes into battle, that was really cool. I thought that was a nice
Yeah.
little emotional touch that we didn't get enough of with other movies.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, I thought it was cool how
yeah,
they were all dealing with different problems, like you just said. They
yeah,
weren't all struggling with like the same thing. They all
Mm-hmm.
had their own internal problems or own personal life issues, personality traits, whatever, but they all came together for the overall problem. And yeah, that was cool.
All right, so what do we have next on the list here? Do we just have our final
Uh,
verdict and slap our dicks and call it a day? Except for you, Courtney.
I I I think so. Unless there's like any last second thing you've thought of. I thought there was something I thought of,
There's
but I can't
always so
remember.
much
There's
more.
always
There's
so much
always,
more.
Yeah,
but
we
I
could
don't want
probably
to. I
talk
don't
about
want to
this
get
movie for two
into.
hours.
I don't want to get into like spoilers too much more than we have. I mean, there's major stuff in there, but
Yeah,
I've been
we've
completely.
already spoiled some stuff.
I just talked about like what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it, just as a film on its own,
Hmm.
not what it was.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a good step forward for DC of what they wanted to do with maybe Justice League, is development of Joker and everything. Oh, by the way, Keith, did you stay halfway through the credits?
Yes, I did.
Okay, cool. Yeah, if you're watching this, you made it this far in the video. Stay through some of the credits. There's a nice little hint
Do it.
of
Nice little
what's
To
thing at the
come.
what's
end,
to
yeah,
come
for
and
sure.
some future allies and what might happen. But
Pretty nifty.
it was pretty sweet.
First market.
Pretty good. It's pretty good. I think overall the user rating is going to be higher
Ah,
for
yeah.
sure
It is.
than the
It's
critics
it's a
rating.
4 star, a 4+ star right now, which I
See,
don't like.
that's a good movie. That is a good movie right
I
there.
didn't hear one person complain or anything
Yeah,
like coming
we-
out of the movie. And usually you do hear some of that.
Some critics just got on the fuck DC bandwagon and it just
Yeah.
went off from there because
Ask them how much they got paid to do
in
it.
general, yeah, I
Mhm.
know. In general, I feel the public has enjoyed the movie a lot more than the critics said they would.
Yeah.
And-
So, in a way, I think the critics has almost helped it because people are like, "What? That can't be right." And then they all go see it and they enjoy it. They're like, "Man, that wasn't like a 30. You're crazy."
Yeah.
And if they'd said it was like a 90, they might have been like, "Oh, that wasn't a 90." And then they'd be pissed. But because all these critics are giving it like a, like a C minus or a 30% or a 4.5 out of 10 or whatever, now people are going out and they're like, "What? That was way better." And
Yeah.
so in a way, I think it's almost helping the film. So
Yeah.
thank you, asshole critics.
We're the nice critics, apparently.
Yeah. No, we're cool. We're cool guys. But anyway, that being said, I originally gave it one rating when I walked out of the movie. But then after like 20 minutes of thinking about it, I raised it up a little bit. I don't know why. It just, in general, I like let more of it hit me and I enjoyed it. So I gave it an 8 out of 10.
And I gave it between a 7 to a 7.5. I need to go see it again. It's something I mentioned earlier. I want to go see it again and take it all in because there was a whole lot in the beginning. I was expecting that, and I think it could be bumped up to full 7.5 for me. And I hate everything, and Keith knows that, and Courtney knows that. So,
Yeah, I'm pretty in the
That's
middle,
true.
so
That's
like
true.
7.75 if that's even a rating.
all right, okay.
We'll take it.
Okay,
We'll take it.
good. Okay.
So,
I mean, you're the average
I
of
think-
it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So it's money well spent. If you're still listening to us for some reason, definitely go see it. It was good. It
Take
was
your
good.
dog to go see it. Take your cat to go see it. Don't take your kids because
That's
you
true.
shouldn't have kids.
You shouldn't have kids. Don't watch our channel if you have kids. No kids. Anyway, yeah. So that was it, man. I don't know. We might talk about other stuff some more sometime, depending on how this goes. I don't know. This video is really long, but it
It
was fun.
is.
I'm glad
It
we got
is
to talk
super
about it.
long.
So, if nothing else, it's a personal documentation of our current.
Yeah, we can
thoughts
look back at
about
this
that
2 years
shit.
ago, like, wow, we actually like that shit.
we did no. I think we might be like, wow, we were really onto something, and then
Yeah.
when we're looking back after seeing Suicide Squad 2, we're
Yeah.
gonna be like, yeah, we liked the first one, didn't we? I think they're gonna have a second one for
Yeah.
sure. They've made a crap load of money, so
Yeah.
but
But
anyway,
yes.
so that's it from us guys. So I
Yeah.
hope my fucking thing's still recording. It's been a while. Anyway,
Just
don't
mute
forget
things.
to
No, it's
if
fine.
you use if so we'll see you guys next time.
All right.
on
Bye.
Keith, Ben, and Courtney reviews. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.